People said to me, the one thing that they heard over and over again, that you were the one.
Love and want to protect him more.
I think I'll be a bachelor and I'll swing and I won't fall in love. I'll just be loveful. Love is miserable.
Many romances appear idyllic on stage, yet conclude with agonizing heartbreak. Wealth and celebrity don't guarantee joy. A significant 17 Black R&B musicians have endured crushing losses, witnessing the permanent departure of cherished companions. The 17 narratives I will recount are profoundly sorrowful accounts. Painful scars remain in the hearts of the survivors. These turbulent lives and fractured connections may leave you emotionally affected for some time. Therefore, prepare yourself before proceeding. 17. The renowned R&B artist Al Green was nearly killed in a horrific relationship. His girlfriend tragically died before his eyes. Al Green possesses a unique voice in R&B, delivering captivating hits like Let's Stay Together. His smooth vocals and captivating stage presence enthralled America. Green swiftly became a sensual symbol of soul and R&B during the 1970s. Yet, concealed beneath the glamour lay a shockingly violent event that dramatically changed his career. One night in October 1974, Al Green was at his Memphis, Tennessee mansion, seeking respite after a demanding performance. Unforeseeably, this residence became the location of a deeply disturbing crime. His girlfriend, Mary Woodson, a woman with a difficult past, silently endured days of neglect and betrayal. Despite her deep affection for Green, she realized she wasn't his only partner when he refused her marriage proposal. This drove her to desperation. While Green was bathing, Woodson entered the kitchen and heated a pot of water. Her intentions remain unclear, but shortly after, she rushed into the bathroom and poured the boiling water on him. Green sustained third-degree burns. However, the incident didn't conclude there. Woodson subsequently went upstairs, retrieved his firearm, and took her own life. The police responded immediately. Reporters gathered. The nation was in disbelief. A beloved icon was nearly killed by his lover in his own home. The public delved into Green's personal life, scrutinizing his extramarital affairs, impulsive behavior, and lack of consideration for others' emotions. He survived, but his physical wounds paled in comparison to his emotional trauma. Green retreated from the public eye for an extended period, turning to gospel music, seeking solace from the devastating consequences of that terrible night. 16. Robert Brown, from celebrated artist to substance abuse casualty, forever the widower of Whitney Houston. Robert Brown, the artist behind the hit My Prerogative, was a leading 90s R&B star. His union with Whitney Houston, a prominent vocalist, appeared idyllic. Yet Robert's life wasn't solely glitz and glamour. It was a grim descent into substance abuse, aggression, and a heartbreaking romantic catastrophe. Beginning in 1992 with their marriage, Robert embarked on a self-destructive journey, harming himself and the woman he vowed to cherish. His drug and alcohol addiction led to turmoil. Countless conflicts marked by physical violence ensued. Specifically, in 2003, a well-publicized attack resulted in Whitney sustaining facial injuries. The evidence was stark and readily apparent. The media pursued the narrative relentlessly. The couple's suffering and bitter experiences filled newspaper headlines. Robert's addiction was a destructive force, consuming everything and drawing Whitney, once a shining star, into a cycle of substance abuse. Her well-being and professional career suffered immensely as Robert continued to devastate their lives through physical abuse, verbal attacks, and uncontrolled mayhem. The famous pair became a protracted, tragic spectacle, captivating yet powerless against public scrutiny. Eventually, Whitney could endure no more. Filing for divorce in 2006, finalized in 2007, Robert emerged as the defeated party, leaving behind a woman deeply wounded physically and emotionally. Whitney's death in 2012 served as a tragic conclusion to the devastation Robert initiated. This relationship, fraught with violence and addiction, endures as one of the music industry's most poignant and controversial narratives. 15. Ike Turner, the abusive husband who compelled Tina Turner to escape with Maurits Down 36, was celebrated as a rock and roll innovator with Rocket 88, a significant influence on R&B music. He propelled Tina Turner's career to great heights. However, beneath the glittering facade lay a cruel, controlling man addicted to drugs, transforming his marriage into a 16-year ordeal. Their wedding took place in 1962. Shortly after, problems surfaced. Ike controlled not only Tina's professional life, but every aspect of her existence. He physically abused, threatened, and relentlessly tormented her. Each drug-induced outburst transformed Tina into his victim. New injuries constantly appeared before prior wounds fully healed. In 1968, Tina attempted suicide with sleeping pills, but she lived. She felt trapped and hopeless. Worse was yet to come. The breaking point arrived in 1976 following a savage beating in Dallas. Tina suffered a nearly fatal attack. That night, she fled the hotel. No belongings, no funds, only $0.36 and a gas card. She left her violent husband, abandoning her career, house, and fortune, all under Ike's control. The divorce concluded in 1978, but Tina departed with just her name and a body bearing both visible and internal scars. Ike's cruelty was eventually revealed through Tina's autobiography, I, Tina, and the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? The public was shocked. The image of the pioneering musician completely crumbled. His reputation was buried beneath his inexcusable actions. Ike Turner not only lost his wife, but also any remaining respect from the world. 14. Robert Kelly, famed for the hit I Believe I Can Fly, was a prominent R&B artist. His career showcased remarkable achievements and widespread success. However, concealed beneath this outward success lay concealed secrets and a controversial relationship few dared to discuss openly. In 1994, Robert Kelly's secret marriage to Aaliyah sent shockwaves through the world. This was not a typical wedding. It was unlawful because she was a minor. The marriage was kept carefully concealed. Aaliyah's status as his protege raised significant concerns. Upon discovery by her family, the union was annulled. However, the lasting emotional harm inflicted upon the young Aaliyah remained. The entertainment industry was stunned by the scandal, and both Kelly and Aaliyah faced intense scrutiny and negative media coverage. Later, in 1996, a renewed attempt at marriage was made by Robert Kelly, hoping for a fresh beginning. This instead marked the commencement of a 13-year period of trauma. Andrea suffered not only from physical abuse, but also from intense psychological manipulation. Acts of violence and intimidation occurred behind closed doors. In 2005, Andrea's public testimony exposed R. Kelly's true nature. Her accounts revealed extensive physical trauma and enduring emotional distress. Their tumultuous relationship concluded with a public divorce in 2009. R. Kelly's history of abuse allegations intensified, particularly with the 2019 documentary Surviving R. Kelly, resulting in widespread condemnation and legal action. Behind the glittering facade of his career lay a love story filled with immense suffering and persistent emotional wounds. 13. The OJ's lead singer, Eddie Levert, renowned for his vocals on Love Train, experienced a tumultuous personal life. A prominent R&B figure of the 1970s and 80s, Levert's public success concealed private struggles and unforeseen heartache. His marriage to Raquel Levert in the 70s, intended to provide stability amidst his career, crumbled under the strain of his fame. Levert's extensive touring and escalating celebrity fueled extramarital relationships. Raquel's discovery of his infidelity led to intense conflicts and escalating tension. The resulting breach of trust created profound emotional distress for Raquel. The pressures of his career, the allure of fame, and Levert's unfaithfulness ultimately destroyed their relationship. Raquel divorced Levert in the late 80s, shouldering the responsibility of raising their children alone and enduring considerable emotional pain. While largely unpublicized, news of Levert's infidelity circulated within Philadelphia's musical community. The contrast between Levert's romantic musical persona and his personal failings served as a stark reminder that even immense success cannot safeguard against devastating personal choices with lasting familial consequences. 12. The renowned R&B artist Wilson Pickett, a man torn apart by substance abuse and aggression, destroyed his marriage. His iconic hit, In the Midnight Hour, captivated audiences worldwide, solidifying his place as one of the greatest R&B voices of the 1960s and 70s. Yet, behind the dazzling performances, a life of turmoil, violence, and addiction rapidly consumed him. Pickett's marriage to Bonnie Charlson in the 1960s seemed promising. However, his volatile temper and alcoholism transformed him, his drinking sprees becoming Bonnie's terrifying reality. A violent attack in 1972 left Bonnie hospitalized, a horrific incident that shocked everyone who knew them. The visible injuries were merely a symptom of deeper emotional wounds. Years of abuse and Pickett's erratic behavior ultimately fractured their relationship. By the late 70s, Bonnie ended their marriage, escaping years of torment. Her emotional wounds endured, leaving a lasting impact on her life. Pickett, unrepentant, continued his destructive lifestyle, his substance abuse and violent episodes becoming public knowledge. The intensely passionate and talented artist was lost, replaced by a figure of unchecked rage and self-destruction. Wilson Pickett's tragic narrative serves as a sobering reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked destructive habits and the hidden price of fame. 11. The rock and soul king Solomon Burke led a scandalous life. His wife endured his countless affairs and 21 illegitimate children. Solomon Burke wasn't merely a rock and soul icon known for Cry to Me, but a highly influential R&B artist of the 1960s-80s. However, his personal life was a whirlwind of romantic turmoil and shocking scandals. Married to Doris Williams from the 1960s, Solomon's life was far from straightforward. His uncontrolled behavior transformed him into a relentless womanizer. He fathered not just a few, but 21 children with numerous women, most outside of marriage. This revelation sent shockwaves through the music industry, causing a major scandal when Burke confessed, even providing financial support to many of these children. Each child represented a complex aspect of his life, pushing his family and Doris to their limits. The continuous affairs ignited intense conflicts and overwhelming fatigue for Doris. She faced not only betrayal, but profound emotional distress. Feeling forsaken and disrespected by the man she once loved, the situation worsened. By the 1980s, Doris ended their turbulent marriage. This wasn't easy, bringing about financial difficulties and enduring emotional pain. Solomon continued his lifestyle disregarding the repercussions. The public grappled with his legacy, a gifted artist overshadowed by a chaotic and scandalous personal life. Solomon Burke's name became synonymous not only with musical acclaim, but also with the romantic chaos that perpetually cast a shadow over him. 10. The R&B star Ne-Yo, known for hits such as So Sick, projected an image of modern romance. Married to Crystal Renee in 2016, their seemingly idyllic union rapidly deteriorated due to infidelity and a hidden polygamous existence. Ne-Yo's unfaithfulness persisted throughout their marriage. Concealed from Crystal, he maintained relationships with 3 additional women. In 2022, Renee discovered online evidence of his deceit, triggering widespread media coverage. Rather than a quiet separation, Renee publicly condemned Ne-Yo's actions. This public denouncement shattered his carefully crafted romantic persona. The public perception of Ne-Yo shifted dramatically. He transitioned from a beloved singer to a figure of deception and personal turmoil. Legal proceedings commenced in 2022, resulting in a highly publicized divorce. The fallout deeply impacted Renee emotionally and significantly diminished Ne-Yo's public approval. Extensive media scrutiny unearthed considerable evidence, transforming the scandal into a major event that significantly impacted the R&B genre. Ne-Yo's reputation as a man of integrity was irrevocably damaged by his infidelity. His image evolved from a sweet singer to a representation of the less desirable aspects of celebrity life. 9. James Brown, the Soul King, whose wife suffered abuse and addiction. The title of King of Soul was bestowed upon James Brown, a legendary performer with iconic hits such as Papa's Got a Brand New Bag and I Got You, I Feel Good. His influence extended beyond music. He revolutionized performance for countless artists. However, his private life was marred by a volatile temper, substance abuse, and violence towards his wives. In 1970, he married Dedra Jenkins. Their initial romance quickly soured. His uncontrolled anger led to physical abuse of Dedra. By 1975, she required hospitalization due to severe injuries. The media reported on James's arrest, but the story eventually died down. Dedra ultimately divorced him in 1981, escaping 11 years of terror. The pattern tragically repeated itself. He married Tommy Ray Heine in 2001. Despite his advancing age, his behavior remained unchanged. His drug addiction intensified his violent tendencies. In 2004, he was apprehended for assaulting Tommy Ray, threatening her with a chair during a drug-induced outburst. No one could effectively intervene. The incident was largely forgotten until his passing in 2006. His death ignited further controversy. Tommy Ray asserted her claim as his legal spouse, demanding a portion of his estate. The Brown family disputed this, claiming their marriage was invalid. This media-driven conflict persisted for years. James Brown's musical contributions remain immense, yet overshadowed by the profound damage to his personal relationships. His legacy includes 2 wives devastated by his abuse, a tale of personal destruction wrought by his own actions. 8. The famed Motown artist Marvin Gay, from beloved prince to faithless spouse, left his wife feeling disgraced and devastated. Marvin Gay, a Motown legend responsible for iconic hits such as What's Going On, Let's Get It On, and Sexual Healing, captivated audiences with his smooth vocals, handsome appearance, and electrifying stage presence. Yet privately, he exhibited recklessness, cruelty, and self-destructive tendencies, ultimately destroying his marriage. In 1963, he married Anna Gordy, sister of Motown's founder Berry Gordy. a seemingly unbreakable bond that soon crumbled under Gay's changing behavior. He plunged into countless extramarital affairs, late-night revelry, and excessive drug use, with a new romantic interest appearing almost every week. Anna helplessly watched her husband's infidelity as he lived life without regard for repercussions. By 1975, Gay ceased to conceal his actions, openly pursuing Janice Hunter. Nearly 2 decades younger than Anna, this betrayal brought profound humiliation to Anna, a wife and a Motown family member, making her a victim in her husband's scandalous behavior. Overwhelmed by the pain, she filed for divorce in a process that extended until 1977, leaving her emotionally scarred. Anna later confessed to experiencing public shame. The saga continued. In 1978, Gay released Here My Dear as part of their divorce settlement, a public and painful mockery of Anna's suffering. The public was shocked. The media seized the opportunity. A major scandal ensued. Both faced public criticism, yet Anna bore the deepest emotional wounds. Marvin not only betrayed her through his actions, but also commodified her pain. Afterward, the image of the Motown Prince was irrevocably tarnished in the eyes of many. 7. The Dark Romance of Rick James, the Super Freak Singer, a tale of unforgettable brutality. Rick James, the renowned R&B and funk artist whose hit Super Freak topped charts, was a symbol of defiance and extraordinary musical talent. Yet his personal life was far from harmonious melodies. It was a series of violent events that shocked fans. During the early 1990s, Rick James spiraled into severe drug dependency, transforming his rebellious spirit into unrestrained aggression. Tanya Ann Hijazi, his then partner, directly experienced the effects of this chaos. His attacks were not merely disputes, they escalated into vicious physical abuse. A 1993 kidnapping and assault at a Los Angeles hotel left Tanya with serious physical and emotional trauma. This was not only devastating for her, but sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment industry. The incident dominated news headlines, severely damaging Rick's public image. The once charismatic star was replaced in the public eye by a man facing serious criminal charges and intense public condemnation. The legal case resulted in imprisonment, a devastating blow to his previously successful career. Tanya endured lasting physical and emotional scars. Despite later reconciling and marrying, the trauma remained a permanent fixture in their lives. These psychological wounds silently plagued Tanya, a tragic ending to a turbulent relationship. Rick James's story is a sobering reality. Behind chart-topping success and fame often lies personal tragedies many choose to conceal. This wasn't simply a love story. It serves as a cautionary tale about the destructive consequences of addiction and violence, pushing a musical icon into the deepest darkness. 6. The legendary R&B singer Ray Charles endured a tumultuous 20-year marriage marked by betrayal. Known for his iconic voice in hits such as Georgia on My Mind, Charles transcended musical genres, mastering soul, blues, and jazz. However, his public success masked a chaotic personal life where his family was overshadowed by addiction and numerous affairs. He married Della Beatrice Howard in 1955. However, their union was doomed from the start. Already deeply involved with drugs and multiple romantic partners, Charles continued his hedonistic lifestyle throughout their marriage. His relentless touring, late-night parties, and constant drug use, coupled with countless extramarital affairs, resulted in 12 children with 10 different women. Della was marginalized, a silent observer as her life disintegrated. As his fame escalated, Charles's self-destruction deepened. His 1961 arrest for drug possession further damaged his public image. Despite this, Della remained, clinging to a marriage that had long since ended. Their relationship was fraught with conflict, fueled by late-night calls, unexpected female visitors, and Charles's unexplained disappearances for weeks at a time. Finally, in 1977, Della filed for divorce, concluding more than 20 years of enduring relentless infidelity. She ended her marriage, devoid of hope, a woman shattered by the man she had loved. Ray Charles, in turn, lost the one constant in his life, yet his downward spiral of drugs and loneliness continued until his death. 5. The renowned R&B singer Barry White, famous for his smooth voice and the hit song "Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe," achieved legendary status in the 1970s and 80s. His romantic music resonated deeply, yet his personal life presented a starkly different narrative, marked by significant challenges and heartache. His 1974 marriage to Glodian White initially appeared idyllic. However, Barry's immersion in a luxurious lifestyle, extensive touring, and numerous musical projects resulted in considerable neglect of his wife and children. Glodian not only endured profound loneliness, but also grappled with persistent rumors of Barry's extramarital relationships with other women in the music industry. The hidden toll of fame became increasingly apparent. The 1980s witnessed escalating tensions in their marriage. Glodian felt profoundly abandoned and unappreciated, leading to intense conflicts fueled by her pain and betrayal. This turmoil significantly disrupted their family life. By 1988, Glodian initiated divorce proceedings, leaving the once seemingly perfect union in ruins, marked by deep hurt and disillusionment. Intense media scrutiny focused on Barry's extravagant lifestyle and alleged infidelities. The glaring disparity between his romantic public image and his troubled private life compelled the public to reassess their perception of the man behind the music. Barry White, despite his immensely successful career, ultimately paid a heavy price for his fame, losing his marriage and leaving Glodian to cope with enduring emotional distress. 4. The renowned R&B artist Etta James, whose romantic life was marred by substance abuse and rehabilitation struggles, gifted the world with the timeless classic "At Last." Her powerful vocals, striking stage presence, and bold demeanor cemented her status as an unforgettable R&B legend. However, behind the scenes, her personal life was tumultuous, a roller coaster her husband Artis Mills experienced firsthand. In 1969, Etta wed Artis Mills, a man who initially appeared capable of navigating her turbulent times. Yet, within a few years, the harsh realities of her addiction took hold. Etta's life became consumed by heroin, transforming concert tours into drug-fueled binges. The stage became a facade, concealing her deteriorating physical and mental state. Artis remained by her side, a decision that unwittingly plunged him into unforeseen depths of despair. In 1972, both were apprehended for drug possession. Artis shouldered the legal consequences, serving time while Etta fought her addiction. Upon his release, he continued to support her, witnessing her repeated collapses, countless hospitalizations, and complete loss of control. Rehabilitation became a recurring cycle. Etta's condition fluctuated dramatically, shifting between periods of lucidity and debilitating haze. One moment she blazed brightly on stage, the next she was emotionally vacant. Artis existed on the precipice of a breakdown, yet their marriage endured. Their love was irrevocably fractured. He lost his beloved wife not through separation, but to the relentless grip of her drug addiction. The media relentlessly publicized her arrests, hospital stays, and relapses, highlighting a man caught in an agonizing predicament, unable to rescue her or walk away, enduring more than a decade of profound suffering. Etta's complete story remains untold. Yet those closest to her understood that drugs tragically stole both her artistic brilliance and her one true love. 3. Percy Sledge, the Love Train singer on stage, a betrayer in life, abandoning his wife disgracefully. Percy Sledge possessed a golden voice, a hallmark of Southern soul music. His timeless love song, When a Man Loves a Woman, achieved global renown. It resonated deeply with millions, establishing him as a romantic icon. Yet, concealed beneath these tender melodies was a tumultuous personal life, a marriage shattered by his own shortcomings. By the mid-1960s, Percy had become a star. He married Rosalie Singleton at the zenith of his career. However, his marital fidelity seemed to crumble the moment he exchanged vows. Extensive tours provided opportunities for him to engage with numerous women, a temptation he consistently embraced. Percy reveled in the attention, succumbing to an excessive lifestyle beyond his control. Rosalie was aware of his actions. Initially, she maintained a stoic silence, striving to preserve their family unit. The situation escalated in the early 1970s when one of Percy's extramarital affairs was revealed. Subsequently, the couple experienced intense conflicts, tearful episodes, and prolonged periods of strained silence. He continued to perform songs about love, yet returned home to an atmosphere of coldness and deception. Rosalie finally reached her breaking point, not merely due to infidelity, but also due to the marginalization she experienced within her own marriage. By the late 1970s, she departed, offering no further warnings or explanations. A divorce formalized the separation, leaving Rosalie alone, raising their children and grappling with profound pain and shame. The story remained largely out of the public eye. Yet, within the Southern music community, the knowledge persisted that a man who had inspired global belief in the power of love had irrevocably destroyed his own domestic life. The song When a Man Loves a Woman subsequently came to evoke not romance, but a sense of profound hypocrisy. 2. Renowned R&B artist Teddy Pendergrass, famed for his hit Love TKO, achieved iconic status. His remarkable 70s and 80s career featured many cherished romantic ballads. However, his life held significant shadows. He married Karen in the 80s, outwardly a strong relationship, but his celebrity lifestyle was extremely risky. Beyond his stage presence, he was known for numerous infidelities. Concert tours provided many opportunities for his philandering, using his charisma to seduce women. Job stress and his womanizing caused intense arguments with Karen. A devastating 1982 car accident, leaving Teddy paralyzed, transformed everything, revealing deep flaws in their marriage. His irresponsible habits are thought to have aggravated the injuries. Despite reconciliation attempts, past hurts proved insurmountable. In 2002, Karen initiated divorce proceedings. She couldn't tolerate the continuous infidelity and years of emotional turmoil. The divorce was more than a conclusion. It tarnished Teddy's professional and personal life. His personal scandals and extramarital affairs were ruthlessly exploited by the press, attracting intense criticism. Teddy's narrative serves as a cautionary tale about the price of neglecting personal well-being amidst fame's allure. 1. Clarence Carter, a marriage shattered by alcohol and infidelity. Clarence Carter possessed one of the South's most unique R&B voices. His famous song, Patches, secured his enduring popularity due to its heartfelt, soulful quality. However, away from the recording studio, Carter's personal life was marred by a series of errors that profoundly impacted his wife. In the 1960s, Clarence wed Annette, who provided unwavering support during his career's early stages. Their future together initially appeared promising. Yet, with rising fame, Carter's life took a downward turn. He succumbed to heavy drinking, frequently returning home inebriated. Concert tours became pretexts for prolonged absences, leaving Annette overwhelmed with worry and plagued by rumors of his affairs. Speculation about his late-night revelry circulated within the music business. Carter, however, remained indifferent. Annette's despair deepened. She was powerless to curb his escalating alcoholism or his infidelity. Their home transformed into an arena of increasingly intense arguments, sometimes lasting until daybreak. Carter continued his touring schedule, leaving a trail of turmoil in his wake. Annette endured a life of quiet suffering, grappling with betrayal, loneliness, and the crushing weight of a failing marriage. By the late 1970s, she reached her breaking point. Divorce, though agonizing, proved indispensable. Clarence continued his musical career, serenading audiences with romantic ballads. Yet he left behind a wife devastated emotionally and financially. This hidden darkness remained unseen by the public during his performances, although it was known within the music industry. His self-inflicted marital breakdown was an open secret. These narratives aren't merely personal misfortunes, but expensive lessons regarding love and existence within the artistic community. What are your opinions on these difficult realities? Share your ideas in the comments section below. Also, if you discovered this video engaging and wish to investigate more show business accounts, remember to subscribe and activate notifications.